Hi guys, welcome to DevOps World. This is Harish Kumar Reddy. So previously I was gone through Ansible installation. Please try to refer the video for how to install Ansible. Okay. So today I'm trying to discuss about the Ansible operations. Okay. So basically, if you're working on Ansible operations, we have two types of scenarios. Okay. We have two types of scenarios. One is ad hoc commands, second one is playbooks. Okay. Ad hoc commands and playbooks. So I already discussed about the playbooks and playbooks also called as webhooks also. Okay, so we are working on webhooks. I already discussed. Please try to refer my previous video. Coming to ad hoc commands. Coming to ad hoc commands, we are working on ad hoc commands based upon the different types of command operations we have. That is, we are working on ad hoc commands like single, one or more commands. We are working on one or more commands. Okay. So here we are working on commands like command. What is command? Command is nothing but we are trying to execute the basic Linux commands. We are trying to give the execute on basic Linux commands on the managed nodes. Okay. Coming to shell. Shell is nothing but we are trying to involve the protecting layer. We are trying to involve the protecting layer on the basis of piping pipelines. Okay. So on the basis of redirection and piping to execute the scripting files. Execute the scripting files. Next, we are trying to go with ping. Ping is nothing but we are trying to give the remote servers. Like suppose if you are working on remote servers, definitely we are trying to work on the different types of files. Okay. So if you want to try to execute any file, definitely we are using ping. Okay. Next, user. User stands for it's a user management. We are trying to create a user and we are trying to go with setting the password and we are trying to assign the home directories. Okay. We are trying to assign the home directories. So basically the user will try to create a user setting the password and we are trying to create a home directories for this. Okay. Next, coming to copy. Copy stands for we are trying to copy the files and we are trying to copy the folders on the base of managed nodes. Okay. Next, fetch. Fetch stands for we are trying to create a files and folders on the base of managed nodes. Okay. Next, stat. Stat stands for we are trying to go with some complete capture information where we can try to create a files and folders on the base of managed nodes. Okay. Next, debug. Debug stands for we are trying to display the output file and we are trying to display the some n number of files as per the debug in any module. Okay. Next, coming to APT. APT stands for we are trying to go with package. We are trying to install the softwares and upgrading and where it depends upon the flavor notations. We are trying to work on the flavor notations. Okay. So next, coming to yum. Yum stands for it's a APT model where we can work on Red Hat Linux and where we can try to create a CentOS file. Okay. So next, Git. Git stands for it is performing the Git version control system where we can replace all the files. Okay. So coming to replace. Replace stands for we can try to replace the files. Like so old content to we are trying to go with the new content. That is replacing the files. Okay. So we are trying to do that in the same text. Next, coming to service. Service stands for we are trying to give the service stop, start, and stop services. Okay. We are trying to go with state of actions for this. Next, coming to include. Include stands for we are working on child place where we can work on the parent place. Okay. Next, URI. URI stands for it was standing from the uniform resource locator where we can work on the progress. Okay. And Docker container. So what is the Docker container? We are trying to create a storage files and we are trying to work on the managed nodes. Okay. Next, we are trying to go with Docker image. Image is nothing but we are working on ISO files and where we can work on the different managed nodes. Okay, Docker login. So Docker login stands for where we can work on the managed nodes. We are trying to work on different types of status. That is, we are working on Docker login, Docker logout. So we have a lot of things we will try to discuss in Docker, guys. Don't need to worry. Okay, next setup. Setup stands for it is trying to capture the files and on the base of managed nodes. Okay, so now I'm trying to go with this one, guys. How we can work on the Ansible. This is very important for this. We already created an installation part. Please try to check my previous video. If you doesn't see my installation, please try to go with this. Okay. So currently I'm taking server 1, server 2, and I'm working with the controller. Okay. So currently I'm working with the controller. I can check server 1, server 2. I can check server 1 and server 2. Okay, so now let's go with this concept. I'm trying to connect the terminal. I'm trying to connect the terminal. I'm connecting the server. Click on yes. Let's clear the screen. Okay. So now I'm working with the controller. See, 190 is a controller mission. 190 is a controller mission. Okay. I'll try to show you this one also. See here, 190 is the controller mission. Okay. So 190 is the controller mission, and this is server one. This is server two, and this is server one. This is 179 is server one. Okay. So now I was working with the use case scenario. Now I'm working with the use case scenario. See, if I want to work with the memory allocation, okay, if I want to work with the memory, I want to check the memory allocation. For this, I want to use free command. Okay, so I'm trying to work on the manage nodes. I'm trying to work on the manage nodes. See, basically we have a syntax, guys. Okay, so basically we have performing the ad hoc process and playbooks. We have a syntax. So Ansible all. So we are trying to go with Ansible all group name following with the IP address, and for IP address and -s stands for inventory file, path of the inventory file. We are working on path of inventory file. -m stands for module name. -a stands for arguments. Okay, so this syntax you need to learn. That's very, very important on the base of ad hoc commands. Okay, so basically, if you're working on ad hoc commands, definitely we need to work or Ansible all group name following with the IP address and -i, that is inventory file, path of the inventory file. So we are trying to go with so path of inventory file means it will try to store the files. Okay, -m stands for module, -m stands for module, and we are working on the progress. Okay, so this is what we are trying to do. So now I'm trying to work on the free memory allocation. For this, I'm trying to go with the Ansible all. -s stands for inventory file, etc Ansible host. -m stands for module. I'm using command line. -a stands for argument. I'm using free module. Free is the command. Okay, let's copy this file. And you can try to go with terminal. You can paste it here. Okay, enter. See here, it is working. Say currently 179 is server one, and 177 is server two. Okay, so basically we are trying to see the memory allocation. This is 980396, 980392. This is different memory allocations. Okay, how much it is used? 189452, 185052. This is different. Okay, free space is also different. Free space is also different, and the shared memory is same. There is no changes. And coming to buffered, so buffer means it is buffering. It is buffering. Okay, so we are trying to buffer the data is also different. Availability space is also different. Okay, so this is how we can try to go with the checking the free space memory allocations. Okay, so now coming to the next is I want to create a file. I want to work with the file. Okay. So if I want to work with the file, then how can I remove, how can I change? I can go with the file. For this, I'm trying to go with Ansible all. -i stands for inventory file. I'm using state of action. That is, we are trying to go with state of action. That is touch file one. Okay. Let's copy this file now. You can paste enter. Okay. See, we are trying to go with server to server one. Now I want to check this file. I want to check this file. This is very, very important. So because basically we have architecture, guys. I'll tell you this one. Let's go with the paint. I'm going with the paint. So we have one controller. We have one controller. We have two managed nodes, server one and server two. Okay. So I just want to increase the size text so that you can be available. Okay. So I can Ansible controller Ansible controller is also called as inventory file. Inventory file. Ansible controller is also called as inventory file. And we have one agent. This is the agent. Agent. This agent is trying to communicate with the server 1, and this is server 2. Server 2. Okay. So we are trying to communicate this. Server 1, server 2. Okay, this agent is trying to communicate with server 1, server 2 on the basis of private SSH. On the basis of private SSH. Private SSH, that is a key PEM file. Okay, we are using .pem file. We are working on .pem file. Okay, so on the basis of private SSH, we are doing this. Okay, that's fine. Now, if I was done, suppose I was insert the file to here. I was working with the .f2. Suppose I'm working with F2 file, I was insert the file to here. So this Ansible agent will try to communicate with the server 1, server 2 now. Okay, because we already used PEM file, SSH key. Okay, so now I can try to go with based upon the SSH. I'm trying to go with communicating with the server 1 now. I'm trying to take server 1. Let's copy this file. You can paste here. Okay, enter. So see here, it is trying directly log in the file. Okay, so now if I go with ls, see here, file 1 is created. File 1 is created. Okay, so login, if I go with ls, file 1 is created. Okay, so like this, we can try to control because agent is trying to communicate with the server 1 and server 2, depends upon your wish. Now I can try to show you server 2 also. Let's go with exit. I'm back to controller SSH. Okay, if I go with ls, see here, I have file 1 is created. Okay, file 1 is successfully created. This is how we can try to go with agent. Okay, agent is trying to communicate with server 1 and server 2 like this. Exit. Now, let's move with one more file. Let's move with one more file. I want to install the software. I want to install Docker. I want to install Docker. For this, I am trying to go. So I want to install Docker in all managed nodes. I'm using this Docker official website. I'll tell you what is Docker in next coming sessions, guys. Don't worry. But just I'm trying to insert the software now. Okay. So now I'm installing software now. I'm installing software. I'm working with use case scenario, guys, to understand this concept, why we need to go with Ansible means, because I want to work on use cases so that you can understand very clearly about this. So that's why that is my intention actually. Okay. It will take some time to install a Docker. Yeah. So Docker is installed successfully. Docker is installed successfully. Now I'm trying to copy the file. I'm trying to copy the file so that I can go with SSH. SSH, you can try to paste, enter. Enter now Docker -- version. See here, Docker is installed. Docker is installed successfully. Okay. So now I'll try to go. So because I'm working with the controller, currently. So this working controller, I'm working with, so currently Currently I was in controller, it was shifted to server 1. Okay, now I'm trying to shift to server 2 also. For this to understanding level, I'm trying to go with server 2 also for your understanding. Let's copy this file. Now I'm trying to go with exit. Next, go with SSH. I'm trying to go with server 2. Enter. Now Docker hyphen version. Okay, Docker hyphen version. Okay, so we are trying to create a version. So we see here 2 machines are successfully working with the Docker hyphen version. Okay, so this is how we can install the Docker. How we can install the Docker, guys. This is very, very important. Let's go with the exit. Let's clear the screen. Clear the screen. Now I'm back to controller again. Okay. So now next we are trying to go with suppose you have I can tell you one small example. See, currently I have 2 servers. Currently I was using 2 servers, but I know I don't want this server. I don't want this server. I want only this server, particular server. Then what we can use? We can work on inventory file. Okay, this is we can work on my inventory. My inventory. So what is my inventory? My inventory stands for if you want only the particular file, you can try to go with my inventory file. Okay, so I'll try to show you this one also for your understanding. Okay, so we are trying to go with my inventory file. Okay, so now currently I'm trying to go with this my inventory file. Let's copy this file. Enter. Go to insert mode. Now what we can do here is we need to insert 2 IP address here. Okay, we need to insert. We can insert only. So create your own my inventory file. I want to insert IP address. So what kind of IP address? Suppose I want only server 1, not server 2. I don't want server 2. Okay, I want only server 1. Okay, so now what you can do, you can paste, go to escape :WQ, enter. Enter. Okay, so now if I was working with only my inventory file, Ansible all, so I'm using my inventory file -m, I'm using command free. Okay, I'm using command free. Currently, I'm working with only one single file, not all 2 servers. Not 2 servers. See here, we have only 1 server. Whatever the remaining server, it is gone because I'm using my inventory file. I'm using my inventory file. Okay, so the other server has been gone. The other server has been gone. Okay, so this is what we are trying to do actually. Basically, my inventory file means we are working only single individual file. We are not taking 2 servers. We are taking only 1 server for this. Okay, so this is called my inventory file. If you don't want my inventory file, go for this command. If you don't want my inventory file, go for this command. You can copy and you can try to go with this. Enter. So 2 files will be allocated. This is my inventory file. We don't have any inventory file here. We don't have any inventory file here. This is how we can work on the progress. Okay. So this is what we are trying to do. Okay. So this is called all about the my inventory files. Next, we are trying to go with next use case scenario. Next, I'm working on next user module. So what is by user? So sorry, we are trying to go with the next we are trying to go with the shell module. Shell module is something where we can work on the we are working on ls-la. Okay, we are working on shell module. Let's copy this file. Copy this file. Now we can go with this. So let's back to controller. So I'm back to controller. Yes, I'm back to controller actually. So now, okay, ls-la. Say 2 are successfully working. Now SSH, I'm trying to take IP address server 2. I'm trying to take server 2. Let's copy this file and you can paste. Enter. ls-la. See here, file 2 is generated. We are working on file permissions. So this is a file permissions. We are working with owner, group, and others. So we are working on these things. Okay. So basically, if you're working on progress, definitely we are working on these things. Okay. So that is what we are trying to do actually. Okay. We are working on the progress. We are working on the progress. Okay. That is, we are trying to work on the, so that is ls-ln. That is called shell model. Okay. So next we are trying to go with one more thing. User passwords. We are working on user passwords. So currently, I can tell you this one tomorrow, guys, because user model is something where we can have a different concept. I'll try to explain this one tomorrow so that it will be very useful to you guys, so that it will be very familiar. I'll try to tell you in detail about this user model. Okay. So tomorrow I can continue this module. That's not a problem. Okay. Don't worry. So if you have up to now, please try to install from your side Ansible, guys, and try to go with the operations, whatever I said. I try to learn the syntax. This is what we are trying to go with this. And syntax is very important for you guys. Whenever you're working on anything, you need to go with syntax. You need to go with syntax. Okay. So this is very important for us. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask me in comment section so that I can tell you very clearly about this. So here, one thing my intention is, I want to tell you very clearly so that it will be very helpful for your practical sessions. Okay. So this is all about my scenario, guys, not more than that. Okay. So thank you for giving this opportunity today. Tomorrow we'll continue again. So please like, share, and subscribe for this. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask me in conversations. Okay. Thank you so much and have a nice day, guys.